Some big announcements for K-pop fans this week with BTS center of attention. From a surprise announcement on joining the military to releasing a solo album. In light of this, for this edition of Weekly Focus, we'll look back at what the boys have been up to since they announced a hiatus as a group. We turn to our culture correspondent, Song Yoo-jin. Welcome, Yoo-jin.
Thank you for having me, Dami.
Sure. Let's start with the latest. This week, we saw all 7 BTS members reconvene for the first time in over 8 months, right?
You're right, Dami. But the boys, they're actually back in breaks. The multinational company Lego released its BTS Dynamite set. It's modeled on the music video set of Dynamite, the group's Grammy-nominated song, and includes minifigures of all 7 members. But the set is only being sold currently in certain countries, including South Korea, the United States, Australia, Singapore, and the United Kingdom. But despite a purchase limit of 1 per person, it took less than 30 minutes for the set to go on back order in the United States. But for those who still want to buy it, it's still available for purchase in South Korea, the UK, and some countries in Europe as of Friday morning Korea time. But you may need to hurry if you want your BTS Dynamite Lego set.
Right. Now then, sold out within 30 minutes in the US. Tell us about the significance of the sold out of stock performance. Ever since Lego announced its collaboration with BTS, both domestic and foreign media outlets have been buzzing about the news, right?
You're definitely right, Dami, and that's because over the past several years, we've been seeing BTS bringing huge benefits, billions of dollars to the Korean economy through their tours, merchandise, and endorsements. And this Lego deal is actually one of the first major collaborations after the group announced that they were taking a break as a group. So many were really waiting to see whether this partnership would turn out to be as fruitful as before. For example, the Wall Street Journal wrote that this collaboration will test BTS's strong influence and marketability. But as of now, by looking at how the Lego set went out of stock so fast and how BTS Lego pop-up stores are opening across Korea from this week, the group's deals still seems to be standing strong.
Right. It's not just Lego sales. It looks like solo actor members still show how much of an impact that BTS as a group still shows on mass media. Now, talking about solo act, Jin, the oldest member of the BTS, began his military service last December. And I hear we have another member joining him pretty soon.
You're right, Dami. Last Sunday, the group's label HYBE announced that a second member to BTS, J-Hope, he has begun his military enlistment process by terminating his enlistment postponement. And what this means is that J-Hope can be called to the military anytime. In South Korea, almost all able-bodied men are required to serve in the military by the time they are 28. But in 2020, the National Assembly passed a bill allowing K-pop artists to defer their service until the age of 30. J-Hope is currently 29 years old, so we don't really know where he'll serve yet at this moment. That will be decided after J-Hope finishes his 5-week basic military service. But we at least know that member Jin, who started his service last December, as you mentioned, he's currently serving at the Yeoncheon area in the Gyeonggi-do province of South Korea.
Right. I watched it live when he was enlisted, and now it feels so soon. It's been just over 2 months since Jin joined the military, and now it's J-Hope, right?
Right. I was definitely shocked and a little bit sad about the announcement as well, because we won't be able to see J-Hope's successful music career for at least a year and a half. But the good news is that the artist himself promised his fans that he is preparing a lot before he goes off to the military. And actually, the first announcement was made, and it took place this week. J-Hope just released his new solo single named On the Street on Friday, March 3rd. And J-Hope's solo career has been really successful so far. His first solo album named Jack in the Box was released last July and actually reached #1 on the iTunes top album charts in 49 countries. And last August, he became the first Korean musician to take the main stage as a headliner at the Lollapalooza, which is a very famous annual 4-day music festival that was held in Chicago.
I'm also looking forward to what J-Hope is preparing for the army, not the military, but for fans. I'm sure he has a lot to prepare for the enlistment too. But other BTS members have also embarked on their individual journeys as solo artists. So let's talk about that.
Well, right. To talk about the latest, we have another solo album coming from another BTS member just this month. Member Jimin is finally making his long-awaited solo debut after more than 9 months since he started his musical career as a group. Jimin's album Face will be released on March 24th, and also a solo world tour from another member is on the way too. The group's rapper Suga will be the first member to go on a solo world tour, which will start in late April in the United States and then in Asia. And it's not just music that the boys are showing their presence as individual members. For example, member V, he's currently starring in the Korean reality show named Ginny's Kitchen, where all the cast members, they're running a Korean restaurant overseas in Mexico.
Right, so we're just into 2 months of the year, a lot going on individually. But it's not just this year. Other members successfully kicked off their solo journeys last year too, right?
Right, so looking back on last year, the group's leader RM, he dropped his first solo album, Indigo, last December, and he saw great success thanks to this album. This album actually made RM the first Korean solo artist to rank 3rd on the mainstream Billboard 200 chart, and also member Jungkook's 2022 Qatar World Cup official song Dreamers, which he performed at the opening ceremony, is the longest charting solo song by a Korean soloist on Spotify's global chart. And even Jin, who is currently doing his military service, set a new record just last month in February, making American social media analytics company NetBase Quid's top 10 artists mentioned in social media list for 20 straight months, which is almost 2 years. Jin's solo single, The Astronaut, released last December, has been also climbing up the charts and is at the top spot of music identification app Shazam's global top 200 from late February. So although BTS's legacy as a group may be on pause for now, the boys are still starting their new chapters, their new individual solo careers, each with their own colors.
Different locations, beats, and journeys that the boys have chosen to go on, still just as thriving and shiny as before.
Right.
Looking forward to what amazing beats the boys will continue to achieve on.
Me too.
All right, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Dami.